Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Guard mired in controversy spotted pining for Hornets on social media. Last season, the Charlotte Hornets bid farewell to an era after sending Roier to the Miami Heat in exchange for a 2027 lottery-protected first-round pick and a few weeks of Kyle Lowry. It was an amicable pairing between Roier and the team, although the guard did incite some clapback from some Hornets fans following his quip about the losing culture in Charlotte. A year later, it has become clear that Buzz City got the better of the trade because Roier has played inconsistently for the Heat, and that draft pick could end up with a much higher value than initially thought. Still, that hasn't stopped the Ohio native from missing his former squad, apparently saying as much in his comment on what looks like an Instagram post dedicated to one of his best games suiting up for the Hornets. Perhaps the question is if Queen City misses Roier back. That might be tricky to answer nowadays because of the scandal the veteran has found himself in. According to the Wall Street Journal, subscription required, Scary Terry is the subject of a probe by federal prosecutors due to his possible involvement in an illegal gambling operation that has supposedly rigged various sports events. Per the report, he is being investigated to determine whether he manipulated his performance in order not to meet certain statistical outcomes, resulting in massive payouts for bets that wagered on his unders. It's worth noting that Roier's case is connected to that of Jontay Porter, the controversial forward who was banned for life by the NBA last year after he admitted to controlling prop bets in violation of league rules. Of course, Roier might end up being absolved of any wrongdoing, as the unusual betting patterns surrounding his play when he was still with the Hornets could have been merely coincidental. The NBA, through spokesperson Mike Bass, has already stated that its own investigation into the Heat guard 2 years ago established that he didn't violate any league policy. Only time will tell how the investigation concludes. It doesn't appear Roier is capable of shaving points or doing something similar that will compromise the integrity of the sport. What's more likely is that he would rather still be playing for Charlotte, especially considering how his Miami stint has turned out so far. And truth be told, the Hornets also need someone like the 30-year-old vet to address their offensive deficiencies this season. Udonis Haslem jokes that he doesn't want Bam Adebayo to break his rebounding record. I don't love him that much. Miami Heat big man Bam Adebayo is still years away from his 30th birthday, yet he already ranks near the top among all players in franchise history in total rebounds grabbed. As of Tuesday, Adebayo has racked up 4,852 rebounds during his time with the Heat. Only one player sits above Adebayo on the all-time rebounding list in team history, and that's none other than Heat legend Udonis Haslem. Haslem totaled 5,791 in a Miami uniform and was a member of the Heat for all 3 of their titles in franchise history. Following Adebayo's 15 rebounds showing in a win over the Washington Wizards on March 3, Haslem quipped that he doesn't want to witness Adebayo break his rebounding record. Adebayo has been a reliable threat to rack up lots of rebounds on a game-to-game basis for years now, and this season has been no different. Across 58 games played, all starts, with the Heat, he's averaging a whopping 9.9 rebounds per game, 2.6 of which are coming on the offensive glass. Additionally, he's averaged 10-plus rebounds per game in a season 3 times and pulled down a career-high 10.4 per contest in the 2023-24 campaign. What makes it impressive that Adebayo is somewhat within arm's reach of Haslem's record right now is just how long Haslem stuck around in the league. Although he spent much of the tail end of his playing career on the bench, he still logged 20 seasons in the NBA in total, with his swan song in the league coming in the 2022-23 season. Adebayo, on the other hand, is amid his 8th season in Miami after he was selected by the Heat with the number 14 overall pick in the 2017 NBA Draft. The former University of Kentucky star will hope to dominate the glass once again and snap a lengthy winning streak when the Heat take on the red-hot Cleveland Cavaliers at Rocket Arena on Wednesday night. The Cavaliers are winners of each of their last 10 contests, and their most recent loss came to the defending champion Boston Celtics a month ago, all the way back on February 4. Forward Jimmy Butler's days as a member of the Miami Heat are in the rearview mirror after he was shipped off to the Golden State Warriors earlier in the month. But according to Local 10 News, he's facing legal trouble from a South Florida company over a luxury home he formerly leased. Per documents acquired by Local 10 News, 5 Star Marketing and Promotions filed the suit against the Warriors forward on Wednesday. According to the lawsuit, Butler stayed in his home in Miami Beach 2 months after his lease expired back in August of 2024. He signed the lease in August of 2022. 5 Star alleges that the lease agreement outlined that Butler would owe twice the amount of the cost of rent, a whopping $130,000, if he stayed past the time agreed upon without permission from his landlord in written form. On top of that, Butler allegedly left his former home in a mess. Court documents claim that Butler caused a whopping $125,000 in damage to the property. The damages allegedly include mold problems, damaged flooring and drywall, a malfunctioning HVAC system as well as an unkempt pool. Butler also allegedly changed the locks so the property owner couldn't access the unit. 5 Star Marketing and Promotions is suing Butler for $257, $282 in total. That number is based on the 2 months that Butler stayed in the home after his lease expired as well as the damage to the home. But Butler's $130,000 security deposit is not part of that total, as 5 Star claiming it is legally entitled to add that to his outstanding balance. Local 10 News reached out to Butler's lawyer for comment on the situation but has yet to receive a response as of Friday. Butler will have an opportunity to play against his former team for the first time since he was traded in the coming weeks. On March 25, the Warriors are slated to take on the Heat at Kaseya Center. Considering how Butler ended his stint with the Heat on a sour note, he would maybe be naive to assume that he'll be met with cheers among the fans at Kaseya Center. It seems quite possible that he will be welcomed back with a smattering of boos. Heat predicted to acquire $194 million superstar by moving on from disappointing star. The Miami Heat are stuck in mediocrity, and it's obvious team president Pat Riley would prefer to vault back into title contention rather than rebuild. The all-star duo of Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo is a strong supporting cast, but neither has proven the ability to act as a number 1 option on a championship roster. Bringing in a superstar a step above the recently traded Jimmy Butler could be the perfect remedy to reaching the NBA Finals once again. Bleacher Report predicts the Heat to part ways with former number 1 pick Andrew Wiggins, disappointing star Terry Rozier, and draft capital in favor of Phoenix Suns forward Kevin Durant. Why, you ask, would they do that for a pair of role players in Rozier and Wiggins? Well, Phoenix needs a fresh start, B/R's Andy Bailey wrote. Wiggins and Rozier are both on movable contracts that could be dealt next season. And the organization is in dire need of draft capital. Wiggins is providing for the Heat exactly what most anticipated, as he's averaging 17.8 points on inefficient shooting in 6 appearances. While he proved himself as a key contributor to the Golden State Warriors' 2022 title team, it's worth parting with him to land a player of Durant's caliber. The Heat's front office was hopeful Rozier would evolve into the perfect backcourt partner for Herro, but instead, he's only regressed during his tenure. Moving on from him would likely come with little resistance from anyone with authority in the organization. And you, fan? What do you think about the situation of Kevin Durant? Write to us in the comments.